The Constitutional Court will today hear the legal bid by the EFF and ATM to challenge Parliament's decision to reject the independent panel report into the Phala Phala robbery, which found that President Cyril Ramaphosa may have a case to answer to. Our reporter covering the hearing is Canny Maphanga. Canny, a very good morning to you. Do you believe the experts will find this case to be acceptable from the EFF and ATM? Do they stand a chance?
Well, good morning to you, Leanne, and to the viewers at home. Well, the stage is set at the Constitutional Court, where the EFF will attempt to revive the scandal that shook the nation, the Phala Phala farm saga. You may remember in February of 2020, the president's Limpopo farm was robbed of foreign currency. We saw that those revelations were made public a few years later by Arthur Fraser, sending shockwaves throughout the nation, raising questions about the president's official duties versus his private interests. Now, you may remember at the time that there were a number of calls for accountability on the part of the president and subsequent probes that will follow to deal with this issue. Essentially, here we are focused on the National Assembly and its duty to hold the executive to account. Now, when the issue was probed in the National Assembly, there of course was that independent panel that was established to look at a very specific scope towards this Phala Phala issue. Of course, when the panel reported back to the National Assembly with their report, they found that the president may have a case to answer on several grounds. However, when this report was debated in the National Assembly, the ANC as well as other political parties used their majority to squash the report and effectively shielded the president from any kind of further probe in the National Assembly. Now, at the time, you may remember there were several probes that were going into this Phala Phala farm saga in several entities. That includes the Hawks, that includes Chapter 9 bodies such as the Public Protector, that includes the Reserve Bank. Now, at the time, what the reason was for the non-adoption of the panel report in the National Assembly was that there were all these probes and they didn't want parallel probes. And of course, the president was taking the panel report on review. Now, we know the Constitutional Court turned the president back when he sought direct access. And then over time, we saw these various institutions clear the president on this issue. So effectively, as we stand today, the National Assembly did not conduct its duties with respect to that panel report, which it commissioned. And then on the other side, you have all these other institutions that have cleared the president. So we stand today without any serious form of accountability or clear facts on the Phala Phala farm saga. So the EFF is challenging the National Assembly in that, was it rational on the 13th of December 2022 for them to not adopt the panel report and rely on the fact that there were other subsequent probes that were happening and they didn't want to create parallel investigations? Was that a rational decision? And did they have a duty to conduct a further probe and get the facts on this Phala Phala farm saga? Of course, we'll hear all those various parties give submissions on this critical question when that hearing begins at 9 a.m. this morning. Over to you in studio.
Thanks very much, Canny Maphanga, on that story.